Today we are picking up on the final season of Jon Kate Plus 8, Season 5. If you haven't watched Seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4, feel free to go watch those videos first. Everything is included in the playlist. Hi, I'm Danny, and you can normally find me on this channel diving into TLC shows, Christian fundamentalism, and exposing family vloggers. If that sounds like something you're into, I'm excited to have you around. This video is going to be a little shorter than I originally had planned because I have been sick all week, but we'll still get through this entire show eventually. I really hope you haven't forgotten, but this might be a crazy life, but it's their life.
It might be a crazy life,
but it's our life.
So already in episode 1, TLC is not giving us a slow start into the season.
I don't care who believes me. I know what I know.
I'll be darned if they're gonna take me down with that.
So it looks like we won't be getting Jon and Kate on the couch together anymore. At least not like we used to. The actual episode starts, and although it's about the sextuplets turning 5, Jon and Kate are both talking about how annoying and awful the paparazzi have been for them lately.
I did not sign up for a public scrutiny of everything, and neither did Kate.
They then begin talking about how the tabloids were claiming Jon had been cheating on Kate with a 3rd grade teacher. To this day, Jon denies it, and that is what he meant in the last clip when he said, "I don't care who believes me. I know what I know." The teacher has also denied it. But there were also rumors Kate was doing the same, and so she begins talking about how her job has required a lot of traveling and talking to various news and whatnot. So as she said, she'll be darned if they're going to take her down with that. I appreciate that Jon's focus at this moment seems to be on his kids.
I guess my fear would be that my kids wouldn't believe me because there's so much media out there.
It's still a bit selfish, as obviously these accusations aren't making Jon or Kate feel good, and they no longer have one another to rely on. But no one will ever convince me Jon doesn't deeply love all 8 of his children.
Yeah, I'd like to apologize to my family for my actions.
Jon admits to being at the wrong place at the wrong time, but doesn't go into further detail, so I'm not really sure what he truly did. That being said, it seems Jon is truly sorry for the mistakes he made. Kate goes on to explain that she thinks Jon is just exhausted from having so many kids and constantly being the one at home while she does her book tour.
So he's angry with me. I think that he's home and I'm not. Yet he doesn't really feel great about me, so he wants me to travel. And I don't know what the solution is. I don't think he knows what the solution is.
For a moment, I thought we were getting a really honest moment from Kate where she realizes just how awful she treats Jon, but I ask too much of this wicked woman.
So yeah, I've been really hard on him, and I've always regretted it. Have I pushed him to this? I don't feel like I have, because I feel like everyone is responsible for their own actions.
That is such a funny statement coming from Kate. We have literally watched her not take responsibility for her own actions. Okay, so you were stressed, tired, overstimulated. That's understandable, but they're still your actions. Anyways, that's enough negativity. Let's see what the entire family is up to with planning this 5th birthday party. Jon is somehow taking the weekend off and is somewhere else. So Kate takes the kids to the store to get the party decorations.
Good park job, huh?
Once again, Kate also almost becomes self-aware when she talks about how she doesn't let the kids use the word paparazzi.
I don't want them going to school being like, well, the paparazzi followed us. Like, that's so creepy.
Yes, Kate, it is creepy. And you know what would help the situation? If you stop making the fact you have a large family your entire personality and your paycheck. How do you constantly see the paparazzi following you and the kids and not immediately want to go into hiding and protect everyone? But she'd never do that, especially now that she's moving towards divorce. It's easier to keep getting rich this way. But let's take a moment to appreciate their backyardigans piñatas. Fun fact, despite a million people telling me to watch Avatar: The Last Airbender, I still haven't. I tried years ago, and it bothered me too much that Aang has the same voice actor as Pablo the Penguin, and Pablo was my favorite backyardigan. I don't know. Stupid reasoning. I know. I'm sorry. Anyways, Kate still hates the dogs.
My favorite show, my favorite one is when he got the dogs.
Oh, well, you can have the dogs if you ask your mom and she says yes.
I would never give away my puppy boy in a million years. But for anyone that was concerned in my last video about the dogs, thankfully they aren't stuck with the Goslings forever. But Kate speaks to all of us right here.
You know, if you're watching for whatever reason, I appreciate you.
Thanks, Kate. I do not appreciate you. Well, maybe I do, because your horrible show is bringing a community of people who collectively despise you into my life. So I now say the same to everyone watching. If you're watching, for whatever reason, I appreciate you. But Kate changes the topic to talk about how Jon has been treating the fans differently and no longer wants the lifestyle they've been living. This is Kate's response.
I think he's really just wanting to bust out of here and try to make it all go away, which, again, newsflash, it's not going to.
Let's go back to season 4, episode 15.
I think we'll continue doing it as long as it is safe for everybody in the family, still feels normal and okay.
That's an interesting answer. I knew that line wouldn't age well. So now that you're getting divorced, Kate, you've decided Jon's opinion must not be counted as family. Very interesting. Jon shares that he doesn't love that work and family have become one and the same for him. He feels like being a stay-at-home parent was chosen for him, and he doesn't love it. Let's be very clear that this doesn't mean he hates his kids or hates being with his kids. He is allowed to want to go back to having a quote-unquote normal job where he got away from the stress and the house, made money for the family, and came home as an attentive and loving father. He is entitled to that just as much as any other stay-at-home mother or father can choose to go back to working a job.
You know, I did it because I love my kids and I love my family, and that's what it is.
But now it's birthday party time, and they did a bunch of bouncy houses. This birthday party is also cool to watch since they go to school now and have friends.
I'm so excited to see all their little friends. Yahoo!
But it's clear Jon and Kate are not in love anymore. You know, if they ever were.
What about that one? No one's up there.
How loud up there?
Oh,
Wet.
oh, they're wet.
I do appreciate that they are both there for the party, despite the relationship issues, and that they still separately sing happy birthday to each kid. That's such a fun tradition.
Happy birthday, dear Alexis, Aiden, Hannah, Jolie, Leah, Colin. Happy birthday to you.
After a day of bouncing, a magician, and cake and ice cream, they conclude with piñatas. And this little boy decapitated Pablo.
Kill it!
Let's have the kids tell us what they did at the party.
I'm playing on the jumping thing because I like it. And I hit the piñatas. Then I ate. It's my favorite birthday ever.
And it's nice to see a good moment with Kate and Colin when he thanks her for the birthday party.
So welcomed, boy. I'm so glad you had a good time.
The party ends with a montage of the kids over the years. And I hate to admit it, it made me tear up. As much as Jon and Kate messed up and continue to mess up, they did raise 8 healthy babies, and that is not a small accomplishment. It also breaks my heart to know what is to come for Colin. But for now, they discuss what their future looks like. Kate says everything she does is for the kids.
I'm committed to not letting any of this harm them.
It's clear Jon felt like that was a bit of a dig, despite him being the one that is always around, taking them to school, and he quits his job to be there for the family, especially now that Kate is touring constantly.
I'm here for my kids too.
I think reality hit Kate hard here.
Parents of multiples have like triple the divorce rate. and thinking we were going to beat that. But I don't know if I can say that anymore.
And that's episode 1. Episode 2 is about Kate's birthday. She's celebrating with the kids while Jon is in Utah snowboarding.
It just happened to fall on Kate's birthday, but snowboarding has always been a passion of mine. It's just something that my dad and I always did. It's something that stuck with me since I was 4 years old.
At first, I was a little judgmental that Jon ditched Kate on her birthday, but considering the route their relationship is on right now, it's probably better for both of them. At this moment, we see another sponsorship, and this time it's at the National Ability Center, where they teach people with disabilities how to ski. They take Shay, a young kid with cerebral palsy.
All you do is you lift it up and give him a shove, and he knows exactly what to do, and it's amazing.
What's so cool to me is they don't limit Shay to greens, which, if you're unfamiliar, are the easiest slopes you'll find on the mountain. They take him on blues and black diamonds as well. Back at home, Kara and Maddie worked with Jon and the crew to set up a surprise for Kate. I've never watched the Food Network, so I'm unfamiliar with Charm City Cakes and their show Ace of Cakes, but Kate is extremely excited. I was a cake boss girly through and through.
And the next thing I know, the door opened and there was Duff.
Do you know where we are? Duff!
What's up, guys?
And of course, they make cakes. Aiden's was my favorite, personally.
That is like a giant blue mountain of goodness.
But despite this being Kate's surprise, of course, she can't fully enjoy it.
At some point, I was like, no more. I mean, they were just, oh, it was just a mess.
They wash up, sing happy birthday, and eat some cake.
Yay!
In episode 3, Maddie and Kate are in San Diego while Jon is home with the rest of the kids. If you're wondering why Kara didn't get to go, it's because she had just gone to Utah with Jon. A new rule that Jon and Kate have is that while one person is on a trip, the other one stays home with all the kids. Kara is driving them around in a battery-powered ATV.
The dogs hate them, but the kids love them.
We don't care if the dogs hate them.
Don't listen to her.
Thank you for saying that, Jon, because why the absolute hell does this woman own dogs? I am so disgusted. But then we see this really sweet moment when Kara is explaining to Aiden why Colin should get a second turn.
Okay, how would you feel if you were Colin and you got to go stop, go, stop, go, stop, go, and I didn't let you go twice?
What an empathetic and sweet little moment. In San Diego, Maddie and Kate are riding a cute little bike everywhere.
Everywhere we went on our pedal car.
We only see a little bit of this trip though because they went for 4 days but only allowed cameras for 1. And back at home, Jon is taking the kids on a walk again.
Poop. Do you smell poop?
It is cow poop.
Ew.
Unfortunately, Alexis tripped and bit through her lip. She lost balance because she had her hands in her pockets.
Oh, that was a good one. She bit right through her lip.
But Jon was able to get a babysitter quickly and take Lex to the pediatrician.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, I have to go get a needle.
I love Alexis's energy. She is so chaotic and sweet. It truly is amazing how great these kids are despite their challenging childhood. But when they got home, her siblings were jealous because she got a Frappuccino on the way home. Jon made it clear it was decaf.
But it's really not fair that she got one of those.
While the kids fight over that, Maddie and Kate are having a spa day.
After the pedicure manicure, we ate lunch in the little spa area.
And while Maddie excitedly shares what she got for her siblings while away, Kate says this.
I could carry a stuffed turtle.
Yes, just we needed another stuffed animal.
And I got an otter.
The most useless gift on the planet.
Those kids are constantly carrying around and loving on their stuffed animals. So I do not understand why Kate would say that. But to say it while Maddie was so excited is also just weird and annoying to me. And while the kids are inside napping, Jon begins to set up the swing set at the new house.
Perfect. Our son,
I'm bracing.
had taken the tank lid off the back of the toilet.
No, you didn't tell me this.
Me neither.
I want Jon to tranquilize Kate. I'm sorry, that might have been too far. All that happened was Aiden was playing with the tank lid because he wanted to know how the toilet worked, and he accidentally smashed it. But after their nap, the kids are ecstatic. The swing set is up.
Awesome.
I hate the way Kate talks about her kids, especially in front of them.
In the airport, heading through security, and Maddie was saying, I wish Daddy was here. You, and she was awful and horrible.
But at least Maddie is laughing about it.
And the trip back through the airport was, Mommy, you're the best mommy in the whole world, thank you.
Episode 4 starts incredibly hostile.
At this point, whoever lands in the interview chair does the interview, it looks like. Don't ask any questions, it's called rolling with life.
But this episode is exciting because it's their 100th episode. Unfortunately, this is only my 73rd episode, so I've managed to miss 27. And trust me, I've seen the comments asking me to be a pirate, and as much as I'd love to give you all the content in the world, I literally cannot find these missing episodes. My theory is Jon and Kate wiped them as best as they could, but who knows? For legal reasons, do not pirate TV shows or movies. That is bad.
A little over a year ago, we ran into Emerald Lagasse. You know Emerald.
No, Kate. I have never heard that name in my life. But I also don't watch cooking shows. Anyways, after running into the whole family, Emerald said he wanted to come cook for all of them one day, and so today is that day. They get right to it and begin preparing the green beans for a casserole.
I feel like this is like this could be like my new cooking school right here.
And instead of Kate just enjoying having a wonderful chef teaching her, she takes every moment to bash Jon.
It's the most I've seen him in the kitchen in my life.
Right?
Yes, Kate, that's because you call it your kitchen and kick him out of it constantly. But I love this little moment with the boys and the camera crew.
Guys, I said don't look. Guys, I said don't look. Close your eyes. Look like this.
And Aiden holds high security, making sure they keep their eyes shut.
Ta-da! He has 2 friends. Let's go.
Thankfully, in the kitchen, Emerald has Jon's back.
You have a bigger scraping surface.
Wait, leave him alone. Ow! Bam! Wait.
And there goes Kate looking for camera crew validation after she does something really weird. She just slapped someone she hardly knows and then found it funny. Light tap or not, that is so weird.
That's right, I did hit him. And then I went, oh, sorry.
No, you did it. You just said bam and then laughed. Goodness, this woman is so weird. Moving on in the episode, I realized I actually do kind of know Emerald.
This stuff has you on it.
It does. It does. It does.
And the kids love their meal.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you,
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
The next episode, episode 5, threw me off because I completely forgot how much I watched the show they feature, American Chopper.
Look who's here.
It turns out Jon was given a bike from them, and he gets to design it himself. Mikey brings out his dummy Charlie, and the kids have an absolute blast.
And then Charlie started falling off the table.
That
never gets old, does it?
I was pretty surprised Kate asked Paul Sr. to give her a ride.
It was a fun ride, and I think after riding that, Senior was like, you're a cool mom.
I don't think cool moms ride motorcycles without helmets. In another shocking moment for Kate, she lets Paul Jr. and Mikey do a messy project with the kids.
The kids had a blast, which was the funniest part. Actually, so did I.
I don't recognize her right now. But don't worry, her screeching comes back when the dogs start eating their picnic. Why would you have the dogs outside while you're having a picnic?
I'm like, what do you expect? You're putting food on the ground, I mean, they don't know any different.
Thank you, Jon. And now it's time for Jon to travel to New York and build his bike. Paul Sr. and Jon's personalities don't mesh great, and Jon just seems annoyed as they build the bike. That's not to say he didn't learn a lot and have fun.
Are you paying attention? Are you learning anything?
Yes.
It's all it counts, right?
Jon wouldn't last a day being Paul Jr. He goes on to bring up a good point that I've never mentioned with giant families. There's little time for the parents to ever get to enjoy their life in the sense of the hobbies and things they once enjoyed or plan to get into.
I actually got to enjoy something on my own and build something that, I was passionate about and actually contribute.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I am not currently a mother and I am not rushing into that stage of my life. I'll never have 8 kids, but even 1 kid will drastically change what your day-to-day looks like. But I'm glad Jon got to get away and do this. And now we fast forward to delivery day.
It's ridiculous. Couldn't even take it all in. I just can't wait to ride it in the future.
But they didn't just make Jon a bike. You would think, based on her reaction, that she'd be keeping it, but no.
I instantly knew that I wanted to donate it. I had a charity coming up for the Ronald McDonald House.
I guess there's nothing wrong with getting rid of a gift you don't want, but it just seems odd to donate a customized moped. That didn't stop Kate from taking it on a test drive and scaring Paul Jr. to death.
My gosh, watch the brakes! Hit the brakes!
No,
Hit
leave her alone. You're like an old lady.
I am, man. She makes me nervous.
Kate then took Mikey to a nail salon where they showed the world's smallest pedicure chair. The episode ends with Kate donating the scooter to the Ronald McDonald House. The only thing I could find about it is, according to this old blogger, realitytvkids.com, a year and a half had passed and they couldn't auction it. So they gave it back to Kate. However, they seemed to retry. I'm not sure how well that went. And for the final episode of this video, episode 6, the kids are getting Crooked houses from a company that makes playhouses that are meant to look like they were built by a kid. They ordered 4 in total, 1 for Maddie, 1 for Kara, and 1 for the little girls and then the little boys. But then there's a disagreement on where to place the houses. Although Jon cleared out the area months ago and Kate didn't say she had an issue with it.
I had to put them in an area that would be safe. And since we have tabloid and paparazzi issues, I wanted them in the woods so they can't be photographed. And I just thought it was a pretty good place to put them.
I don't see how Kate could really argue that point.
I was concerned that they would never go down there. And if they did, an adult would need to go with them.
This sounds reasonable, but I struggle to truly see the issue. But instead of talking about it with Jon, Kate tells the guy installing them that he can put Maddie and Kara's in the woods and the 2 little kids' houses in the yard where she wants them.
At some point I'll tell him, but no need to have him freak out right now.
Kate argues that this wasn't about her getting her way, but keeping the kids safe and having their houses easily accessible. I would be more okay with that and believe her if she didn't make the decision completely on her own. After a while, they found a spot in the yard that is behind some trees and gives the kids the privacy Jon wanted for them, while also keeping them close to the house. It seems like a better option for what they both wanted.
Yeah, Kate and I have not been communicating very well.
Jon, this isn't news to us, although it might be news to you. This moment is dedicated to my comment section, where no one seems to spell poor Maddie's name right. She spells it M-A-D-Y.
Yeah, right, finally! Someone spelled my name right. Someone spelled my name right.
But finally, after a full day of building, the houses are done, and the kids are more than excited.
Ow! That was my head! Jon, knock it off.
I am not sure how that was Jon's fault at all.
The little boy's got a pirate ship. And it's pretty cool. It looks like a pirate ship. It's got a mast. It's got a crow's nest in it.
I'll admit, these things are pretty cool.
The little girls got this garden center. It's like the pinkest house on the planet.
Maddie chose her own, sort of. She turned it into like a little animal hospital.
And Kara's is my personal favorite.
Kara's is a spooky, like a haunted house of all things, which I didn't talk her out of it, but I I want her to choose what she wants.
I'm glad she didn't talk her out of it because it's definitely the coolest one.
They were running in and out and playing, and I went into each one of them, and Jon and I had a little bit of a rough day that day behind the scenes.
And Kate fills us in more on her perspective, and the show shifts from a fun day for the kids to talking about Jon and Kate's relationship.
Jon has a lot of anger towards me, and I would love to discuss it with him, and he won't talk to me. That's the truth.
Based on how Kate communicates with Jon on camera, I am going to assume he doesn't see a purpose in talking to her. He'll just get talked over and not be heard. I think they both do that to each other and have lost a desire to care about the other person's feelings. Jon then shares his frustrations with the paparazzi.
I mean, we have soldiers over in Iraq dying for our country, and all these people care about is like what I eat for lunch.
His frustration is valid in the sense of everyone deserving privacy. It's just unfortunate that he didn't seem to realize doing a show like this would make privacy far more difficult. He's made his life and job the same thing, and I would never want to do that. And I consistently speak out against parents who do it to their unconsenting children. I also want to acknowledge that you can care about important things and stupid things simultaneously. Ultimately, what's important to you is important, even if it isn't the most important thing in the world. But Jon acknowledges he has been too passive with Kate over the years.
I just let her rule the roost and do whatever she wanted to do and went along with everything. And now I finally stood up on my own 2 feet and I'm proud of myself.
Realistically, Jon probably hasn't been kind to Kate. It seems he shoved away most of his anger and frustration over the years until he reached a boiling point. Obviously, that is not the smarter or most emotionally mature way to do it, and Kate has probably been hurt by the things he's been saying to her. But this is what happens when neither of you know how to effectively communicate. Interestingly, Kate does not believe the show is at fault at all. While divorce definitely could have still occurred without the show, it seems Jon is being pushed over the edge by the lack of privacy he's been getting. I thought this comment from both of them was interesting.
I don't hate Kate.
But I don't hate him. Never have, never will.
An important thing they keep mentioning is keeping their kids' needs first through all of this. I think that's important when parents are splitting up. However, I wish more parents understood that kids can tell when you're unhappy together. As a child whose parents stayed together for the kids, I'll always advocate for divorce. Sometimes caring about your kid is showing them what it means to take care of yourself and your needs first. Nobody wants to see their parents struggling day after day and the parents not getting the help they need out of fear of being too vulnerable or weak in front of their kids. I hope I can remember that when I'm a parent one day. Thankfully, Jon and Kate make that hard but important decision.
Kate and I have decided to separate.
Yes, we have decided that we will separate.
I also find it admirable that Jon and Kate agreed they would be the ones switching houses instead of the kids.
It is going to be the best and the most peaceful, I'm hoping, for them.
Interestingly, Jon is still planning on doing the show, but feels it's a bit of a gray area.
It's day by day for me. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I could get offered a job or, and that'd change the whole schedule. I don't know.
After at least 15 minutes of this sad tone, the show shifts gears to the family going out for brunch for Mother's Day.
I stated very boldly, I will never not see my kids on a holiday.
Okay, maybe the sad tone isn't over.
Maybe the only thing I can look forward to is some resolution, some peace.
While these two had a rough relationship since the show started, I want to give them credit for raising 8 healthy kids. I mean, the sextuplets are almost 6 in this episode, and that is not something to brush over. Sorry to end this video on such a sad note, but we all know this is where the show is going. If you've been enjoying this Jon and Kate series, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing below. I hope you have a healthy and happy week. Bye.